Hello, everybody. This is President Donald Trump. I don't smoke and I don't drink, but there's a fantastic show called Liquid Lunch, and their sponsor is Question Tequila, and it's hosted by John Tobacco. Booze, cigarettes, tobacco, it's all here with great insight on politics, culture, and everything else. Tune in every day to Liquid Lunch.
Hey, welcome back. Just drawing into nearly to the end of this Women Wednesday. It's been a firecracker of a show today. We are still waiting for the Madden bus to pull up with Coach Dungy and his wife Lauren to talk about our Carson Chooses Forgiveness, their new children's book. But Frank, as we anxiously await our first ever Super Bowl winning NFL head coach and NBC sports analyst, what else is happening?
All right,
you ripped me apart in the last segment.
Okay.
These are the Dungy's books. We're waiting for them.
Maybe they'll be on tomorrow. They might be on tomorrow.
For us, but if they don't make it here, we'll have them on tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll have them on for, Thursday. I don't know. What's the alliteration for Thursday? Yeah. Literacy Thursday. Yeah. Anyway.
Free Leg Friday.
Okay. Throwback Thursday to when they were scheduled to be here initially. All right. Couple of items in the news politically, and I know we have a lot of very politically astute listeners. Apparently, and I can't believe I'm saying this with a straight face, but apparently former one-term Illinois Congressman Joe Walsh, who can now be heard as a nationally syndicated radio talk show host, is apparently considering running for president in a Republican primary against Donald Trump. Now, look, nobody's unbeatable, and I think everybody should be challenged.
Why was Joe Walsh a one-term congressman?
Well, because he was defeated for re-election.
What were his weaknesses? Because it's very hard to beat an incumbent. So
I think it was a redistricting year. There's a lot of good one-term congressmen. John LaBoutier is my favorite.
Yeah.
But so Joe Walsh is apparently considering running for president. I know Joe Walsh, and he's a colleague. We work for the same company, but the only hope Joe Walsh has of even getting on the ballot or getting a vote is if people confuse him with Joe Walsh from the Eagles.
I was going to say, why
going.
doesn't he just stick with touring with the Eagles? He can make so much more money than running for president. He doesn't have to put up with all this crap.
Yeah, no. Look, I don't understand.
Why is he giving up on the Eagles?
You got me. But I've always been more of a Giants fan myself than the Eagles. But. Yeah. And Roger Stone was at this Lobster Fest fundraiser for the Florida Republican Party. I know we have a lot of great viewers in Florida. And he said something with respect to the president's reelection that I completely agree with. Because every day I am around a lot of people of different political persuasions, but the Trump supporters always tell me, oh, it's a layup. He's got it in the bag. He's going to win in a landslide. And Roger, who was pro-Trump for president before anybody, before me, before you, before anybody. From 1987, he's been pushing Trump for president. He said that is anybody that thinks that this is a layup and that it won't be competitive doesn't understand the dynamics of American politics today. And the biggest problem that the Trump re-election has is overconfidence. I completely agree.
I tend to agree. I think we're going to win because I don't see any real opposition. But it's like anything else, and hopefully tomorrow we'll talk to Coach Dungy about it. But as a former coach, you always tell your team, don't take the other team lightly. Don't just roll your helmet on the field and think you're going to beat them. You got to keep pounding them. You got to keep your foot on their neck. You got to keep your hands on their throat till they're dead, and you're on the bus heading back home, and then you can celebrate the victory.
I completely agree.
I think that's the Trump campaign needs a little more of that. And maybe Anthony Scaramucci and Joe Walsh can team up as like a tag team and run against Donald Trump to sharpen him up. Like bring out the JV squad in a primary or something.
His co-host and wife, Deidre Scaramucci, has indicated that she's going to be here on Tuesday. So I'm going to refrain from criticizing anybody in the Scaramucci household.
I'm saying
any of the Scaramucci until Tuesday to see if Deidre comes up. Yeah.
Well, I'd love to have Deidre back because she was fantastic and we miss her.
Absolutely.
And Anthony cancels on us all the time, but she's usually reliant and reliable.
One other quick item that we'll get to after this.